Right now, your television is probably watching you back. And I don't mean that as some tinfoil hat conspiracy. I mean it literally as a built-in feature, switched on by default, quietly making a list of everything you watch and selling it. Not just what you stream on its apps, everything on the screen. Cable, a DVD, your game console, the photos you cast from your phone. Your smart TV takes constant little snapshots of your screen, figures out exactly what it is, and ties it to a profile that gets sold to advertisers and data brokers. The reason you've never noticed is that it was designed to be invisible, and the setting that controls it is buried under a name that sounds harmless on purpose. The good news is this is one of the easiest privacy wins you'll ever get. 5 minutes in your TV's settings shuts most of it off, and nothing about your viewing gets worse. So in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what your TV collects, why the manufacturer does it, what it actually means for you, and then walk you through turning it off on whatever brand you own. Let's get into it. So let's start with what your TV is actually collecting, because the main thing has a name, and once you know it, you'll spot it in your settings. It's called ACR, Automatic Content Recognition. Here's how it works. Many times a second, your smart TV grabs a tiny snapshot of whatever is on the screen, and it compares that against a massive database to identify exactly what you're watching. And the clever, slightly unsettling part is that it doesn't matter where the picture comes from. Streaming app, live cable, a Blu-ray, your game console, even something you plugged into the HDMI port. If it's on the screen, ACR can identify it. So it's not just, you watch this app. It's a near-complete log of your viewing life. On top of that, there's more. If your remote has a microphone for voice commands, that's voice data. The TV also tracks which apps you open and how long you use them, your device details, and your internet address, which gives away your rough location. Stitch all of that together, and your TV isn't a screen you watch. It's a sensor pointed at you, building a detailed profile of your habits, hour by hour. Now, the obvious question, why on earth would your TV do this? And the answer reframes the whole thing. Think about how cheap big TVs have gotten, a giant 4K screen for a few $100s. That price doesn't really cover what the TV is worth. So how do manufacturers make their money? They make it from you, after the sale, continuously, by collecting your viewing data and using it to sell targeted advertising. In other words, the TV is cheap precisely because you are the product. This isn't a fringe accusation, it's documented. Back in 2017, the TV maker Vizio paid a $2.2 million settlement to the Federal Trade Commission because it had been tracking the viewing data of around 11 million televisions without telling people or asking permission. That case was the wake-up call. The result is that the whole industry now does basically the same thing. But because of that case, they have to disclose it, and they have to give you a way to opt out. The catch is that disclosed usually means a checkbox you clicked past during setup, and the opt-out is buried in a menu. So it's legal now, and it's everywhere, which means the responsibility to switch it off quietly landed on you. So what does this actually mean for you day to day? A few real things. First, the most visible one, those ads that seem to follow you everywhere. You watch a show or a kind of content on your TV, and suddenly related ads show up on your phone and your laptop. That's your viewing profile being matched across your devices. Second, and we covered this last time, that viewing data doesn't stay with the TV maker. It gets packaged and can flow into the same data broker profiles that already hold your address and your habits, making the picture of you that's for sale even richer. Third, if you've been using voice control, there are snippets of your voice and commands in the mix too. And fourth, the one people forget. A smart TV is really just an internet-connected computer sitting in your living room. But unlike your phone, it rarely gets security updates, and people keep them for many years. That makes it a soft target on your home network. Picture it plainly. A record of every show, every movie, every late-night binge tied to your household and sold on. Not because you agreed in any meaningful way, but because a box you bought decided that was part of the deal. So this isn't only about advertising. It's about how much of your private life one cheap appliance quietly streams out, and how it widens the door into your home. None of it is catastrophic on its own, but all of it is unnecessary, and almost all of it is optional. And the gap between feels creepy and actually fixable is just knowing where the switch is. So here's the part you came for: how to turn it off. Set aside 5 minutes with your remote and do these. Step 1, the big one: turn off ACR. The annoying bit is that every brand hides it under a different friendly name. On a Samsung, look for Viewing Information Services. On an LG, it's Live Plus. On a Vizio, it's Viewing Data. On a Roku TV, it's in the Smart TV Experience and Privacy settings. Dig into Settings, find the Privacy or Terms section, and switch that off. That single toggle stops the snapshotting. Step 2, turn off the microphone or voice features if you don't use them. There's usually a voice or assistant setting and a physical or software mic control. Step 3, find the advertising settings and choose Limit Ad Tracking, and reset the advertising ID while you're there. That breaks the link between your TV and the ad profile. Step 4, glance through the installed apps and tighten any permissions that don't make sense. And Step 5, the nuclear option for the truly privacy-minded. Don't connect the TV to your Wi-Fi at all. A TV that's offline can't phone home. Plug in a streaming stick you actually trust and control, and let the smart part live there instead. You don't have to do all 5. Even just Step 1, turning off ACR, removes the biggest chunk of the spying. Now let's zoom out, because your TV is just the most obvious example of a much bigger pattern. Every smart device you bring home, the speaker, the doorbell, the thermostat, the camera, the vacuum that maps your floors, is, to some degree, a data collector. That doesn't mean you have to throw them all out. It means you treat them with a simple, repeatable routine. First, at setup, slow down and say no to the data sharing and personalization prompts. They're optional far more often than they look. Second, turn off any microphone or camera you're not actually using. A smart speaker you only use for timers doesn't need to be listening for everything. Third, keep the firmware updated when the device offers it, because these gadgets do get security holes. And fourth, the power move for your whole home. Put your smart devices on a separate guest Wi-Fi network, kept apart from the phones and laptops that hold your real information. That way, if a cheap gadget gets compromised, it can't reach the important stuff. A few minutes per device and you flip the relationship. You're using them, instead of them quietly studying you. So here's the whole thing in one breath. Your smart TV almost certainly uses a feature called ACR, Automatic Content Recognition, that snapshots whatever's on your screen from any source, identifies it, and ties it to a profile sold for advertising. It may also collect your voice, your app use, and your location. They do it because the TV is cheap and your data is the real product, a practice that became standard after Vizio's 2017 FTC settlement for tracking 11 million TVs without consent. For you, that means cross-device targeted ads, richer data broker profiles, voice snippets, and a rarely updated computer on your network. The 5-minute fix: turn off ACR, Viewing Information Services on Samsung, Live Plus on LG, Viewing Data on Vizio, the privacy settings on Roku, disable the voice mic, limit ad tracking, and reset the ad ID. And, if you want, don't connect it to Wi-Fi at all. And treat every smart device the same way. Decline data sharing, mute unused mics, update and put them on a guest network. So the bottom line, you didn't agree to turn your living room into an advertising censor, and you can switch it off tonight in about 5 minutes without losing a single thing you actually enjoy. So go do it. Grab the remote, find your brand's setting, and turn off ACR. It's one of the highest reward, lowest effort privacy moves there is. If this opened your eyes a little, consider subscribing, because that's what this channel is for. The digital world explained in plain English, so you and the people you love can stay a step ahead. And send this to anyone who just bought a new TV. They're about to click agree on all of this without knowing they had a choice. Stay sharp out there.